Yes, 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 yes. Good evening, everyone. I don't know where you're connecting from. Good evening and welcome to the Model Woman Inner Circle. And tonight we are looking at a very fantastic topic. This July, we're kicking off with building capacities, and this June, rather, and different capacities. So, if you are here, I'd like you to let us know in the comment section where you are connecting from. And if you are here, I'd like you to go and invite your friends to be here. And for those of you who may be watching the replay, you are also welcome. So get set with your notebook and ready to learn. So for those of you in the inner circle, by now you should know that model Onyinye Chuks Oji is not a stranger. The model Onyi is not a stranger. Onyi has been here 2 years, and tonight you're going to learn a lot. I know that we've been learning from me, all this, but I can tell you there are women with capacity, there are women with capacities here in the inner circle program. So Model Oyi is going to be speaking. I'm going to exit the stage and she's going to start. Now, Model Oyi, I need you to start teaching. I'm sure that a lot of people will get the notification and join us. So I'm not sure I've seen anybody here. Let me check. Mm, I'm trying to check. Okay. So, Modeloyi, how has it been for you? How has it been for you, the month of June? I know the month of June has kicked off. Today's date is today is 10th of June, and gradually June is moving.
Yeah.
Today is already 10th. You see that thing I talked about, how the days can just develop wings and they're flying. I remember when we were celebrating May, oh, May has gone. By next week now, we're getting into almost the second week in um, June, or third week. And before you know it, we're in July, we're in August, we're in September, we're in October, we're in November, and then we now come and say another Happy New Year. And then we enter 2026. And before you know, we enter 2027. We get into 2028. We get into 2029. And then we get into the almighty 2030. Like a joke, when we're about entering year 2000, it looked like when you get to year 2000, the world will end. Year 2000, now year 2000, we're 25 years into year 2000. 25 solid years into year 2000. So you're welcome. Please let us know where you're connected from. So, Mother Louie, I'm going to exit now, and then you have the stage. We're teaching strong yet soft, how you can build emotional capacity in a tough world. Okay. Oh, Lord.
All right. So, good evening, all right. I can't see comments. I believe that I can be seen and I can be heard. All right. So, let us get into the conversation for tonight. First, I want to thank Pastor Favor, mentor of mentors, for giving me this opportunity. When she said I was going to take this class, I wanted to run, but then with Pastor Favor, you can't go anywhere. And I want to thank you so much, Mama, for all the impact you have made in our lives. They are palpable. And to all the models, I'm excited to be doing this tonight. And I pray that at the end of tonight, at least we're going to be going home with something, a word for the season, a word for the month that can help us in our journey of impact as women, especially. So, our conversation tonight is on strong yet soft. And this is a very vital conversation that we should be having as women, especially as women. As women who are called to live a life of impact and contribution. Everybody in the model inner circle We know, everybody in this circle knows that they are not just called to be ordinary. We know that there is more. There is more to whatever it is we have. Because we know there is more, we are making the extra effort. We are paying the extra price. We are pushing beyond limits and boundaries just to break forth and to unleash all that God has put in us. So, especially for us women who understand that there is more, that we're not just here to just consume, we are here to live a life of impact and contribution, a generational life. One of the things that we owe ourselves is to build capacity. We need to build capacity for the journey ahead. And capacity, so that's what we're focusing on. And capacity is all encompassing. We have different facets of capacity. So you have physical capacity, you have spiritual capacity, you have emotional capacity, which is what we are narrowing on tonight. So our conversation for tonight is on emotional capacity. How do we build emotional capacity? Because the strength we are talking about is emotional strength. All right. How do we build emotional strength? How do we become emotionally strong yet soft? Now let's start by trying to explain what emotional capacity is about, and that is the ability to handle life's emotional weight. Emotional capacity is the ability to handle the weight of life, the emotional weight that life has to, you know, that life can bring. Life comes with a lot of emotional weight and baggage. So, our ability to handle stress, grief, conflict, disappointments, pressure without crushing or without being consumed by it, that is emotional capacity. And you'll agree with me that as women, we really need to build emotional capacity. As women who just you're all about doing your normal career as a woman and raising your family as a woman, you need a lot of emotional capacity. Now, when you add impact to it, when you add the fact that you are trying to live not just for yourself and your immediate family, you are trying to live for the world at large. You're doing a business. You're in business, product business, service business. You are just living a life that is trying. You're trying to be a blessing to other people other than your immediate family. That's added weight. That's added emotional weight. So you must build capacity. So we need to be able to build, and capacity is not just what you pick up on the shelf. It's a lifelong journey. You keep growing precepts upon precepts, lines upon lines. And that's the conversation tonight. Now, why do we even need to bother to build emotional capacity as women? Now, number one is that we carry so much. Women, we carry so much. We are nurturers, we are leaders, we are mothers, we are daughters, we are wives, we are professionals, we are career women. So this comes with a lot. People lean on women emotionally. People lean on women for emotional support. Now, as a husband, as a wife, as a wife, you can agree with me that when you come to your family, even your husband is leaning on you for emotional support. The children are leaning on you. Everybody is leaning on women for emotional support. And you cannot not build capacity. Let me put it that way. Now, secondly, we are expected to hold it together for others as women. We're just expected to keep it together. We're expected to keep the balance, to keep everybody afloat. And oftentimes, we are the emotional anchors in our homes. Women, we are the emotional anchors in our homes. And without emotional capacity, we will start running on empty. You start running on empty, we show up for everyone else, only to realize that you are slowly losing yourself in the process. So, for that
Sorry,
reason,
I
we
want
must
to
build
ask. Hello.
capacity.
Oh, hold on. Please, can you people see her?
Okay,
Can you see her? I can't see her.
okay.
Please type in the
Can I be
comment
seen?
section if you can see her. I don't know. Oh, yeah, I can't see you. It's blank.
But I can see you clearly, ma,
Okay. Is it my network?
and I can see myself.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's my network.
Can they see me? Seems Mama
Okay,
is not
okay.
here.
Video is still.
Can they see me, Mama?
Hello, Yi. No, they said yes,
Yes,
that
I
your
can
but
hear
your
you.
video is still. They say your video is
It's
still. Your
still.
video is still. It's
Wow.
not
But
moving.
can they hear
But
me?
so let me exit. Yes, we can hear you. So let me just exit so that you can just continue. If I wish we could, but it's not a problem.
All right. I can't see comments. I can't see anything. But I don't know. And Mama is not here. I don't know what's going on. But I wish I can see comments so that
No, I'm here. Hello, Yi. I'm here.
okay, I can hear you, Ma. I can see you now.
I'm here, and there are comments. People are here, but it's just that your video, they say your video is still, but me, I can't see any. They say your video is still. But since we can hear you, I think you should continue since we can hear you. But I'm here, I'm in the comment section.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay,
Mm.
Ma. Okay, Ma. All right. All right. So let's move on. Like I was saying, we show up for everyone else. And if we are not careful and intentional about building emotional capacity while we are trying to give to everybody else, we will start running on empty. So we must constantly refill, we must constantly recharge, we must constantly feed our emotions, build up capacity as regards our emotions, so that we can constantly give to others. Because every single day, women are expected to do what? Be an emotional anchor for other people. Now, the second reason why we must build emotional capacity is that life is emotionally demanding on its own. Okay, life will bring different challenges: grief, betrayal, rejection, pressure, the normal pressure of life. If we don't build capacity, we either shut down or go numb. So people go numb, people shut down when life throws a lot at you. So recently I had a relative who lost the parents, one of the parents. 3 months later, the second parent followed. 3 months later, the twin sister died. And it was just a lineup of grief, a lineup of grief. So it got to a point where somebody else died and she was numb. She was totally numb. She couldn't express any more emotions. She couldn't feel anything anymore. And she had to start going for therapy. Why did she get to that place? She was not intentional, and probably nobody was even there to help. So somebody who is grieving is not in the best place to even start seeking help, especially when they are not in that space. So she became so numb because of the series of grief that she was going through. So because life will throw things at you that you didn't even prepare for. We don't know what tomorrow brings, but because we have faith in God, we know that whatever life brings, our way, God is with us even through the fire. But then not everybody has that capacity. Because of that, we must learn to build emotional capacity so that we are able to not shut down or go numb. We shouldn't lash out or live in reaction because of the things that are happening to us as parents, as mothers, right? If you don't build emotional capacity, you can easily lash out even on your children. A lot of us are lashing out on our children, constantly yelling, constantly shouting, because that's our outlet to do what? To relieve ourselves of the enormous emotion that is building up. So the children become the scapegoats of our emotional weight, the emotional weight that we carry. So it is important that we learn to begin to build it intentionally. And we're going to be looking at how to do that in the course of this conversation. Now, the third reason is that why we need to build capacity is that softness without strength becomes fragility. Softness without strength becomes fragility. So, yes, we are women, we are called to be soft, but then we need to also build strength. We need to also build emotional capacity so that it doesn't become a problem. God has designed women with tenderness. with sensitivity and compassion. We are very tender people. We are sensitive and we are compassionate. But without strength, that softness will become a liability, right? Without strength, that softness becomes a liability instead of a gift, because we find that we are just, you will take things too personally. Because I counsel couples a lot. I have this couple just 3 years into their marriage, and the issue is that the lady is complaining about everything. Now the man is constantly saying, you are not doing this right, you are not doing the other one right, you're not doing this right. So there is always, I'm trying to correct her, and the lady is saying, the man is not even paying attention to me, he's not doing this. Any little thing he says, she reads meanings into it. And I have to tell the man, look at the age gap, right, between both of you. Now, her age, there are expectations she has in her head about marriage, which was not properly guided, right? Now, these expectations is making her to be taking a lot of things you're doing personal. So you're going to have to give her time to grow. And I told the lady, you just have to grow, but you give yourself time, extend grace to yourself. Well, some things that are issues to you today, give it 5 years, you look back and wonder why you are even complaining about them. What has happened? You have grown, you have matured, emotional maturity, you have built capacity to be able to handle some of these things. Now, if you don't build capacity, you can start taking things too personal. You become overly dependent on other people's validation, and you overextend to prove your worth. So you're constantly seeking validation from others. And that's why you need to build capacity, so that you know that you are self-sufficient in yourself, right? So building capacity allows you to stay soft without shattering. You stay soft without shattering. That's what emotional capacity helps you to do. Now, the fourth reason why you need to build capacity is that God uses only emotionally whole women for kingdom impact and assignments. God uses, check history. You just have to be emotionally whole for God to be able to use you, especially for kingdom assignment. And all of us here, we are on a kingdom assignment. If you didn't know you were on a kingdom assignment, by the first induction that Pastor Favor did, you got to know that yes, you are here on a kingdom assignment. And for that reason, God wants you whole. God needs you emotionally stable. God needs you emotionally ready, emotionally mature, emotionally capable to handle the role that He's going to place on your hands. So if you didn't find the first, second, and third reason interesting enough to begin to build capacity as a woman, remember that God cannot use you if you are not whole. So for that reason, we have to be very intentional. We need to start paying attention to this conversation. When you build capacity, you become a safe place for other people. You become a voice of peace and wisdom, and a vessel God can use in every season, not just in the good and bad time. Because you're going to have to, for some of those of us in the family life space, you deal with people with diverse issues every single day, and they expect you to attend to them. That means you must be emotionally stable to be able to handle other people's family and marital issues. And that doesn't mean you don't have your own personal issues. So the fact that you woke up in the morning and you had a little argument with your husband, you fix sessions for that day. You are not going to carry whatever it is that happened in your home into these sessions, right? So it takes you building capacity to be able to separate yourself from your personal issues and then attend to people, and to even be able to shield yourself from the emotional weight people's issues can place on you, so that you don't buckle under the weight. You can hear some things people are going through. People are crying right in front of you. People are expressing deep emotions as a result of the things they have experienced in their marriages. And you are not going to start crying with them. You're not going to start buckling under the pressure and weight of their own problems. You need to still be able to stay sane, stay stable emotionally. to be able to address that. And that's kingdom work. So God needs us as women to be emotionally stable. To be emotionally stable. It is very important. One powerful way to build emotional capacity is to master being strong and yet soft. And that is the conversation for tonight. That brings us to the conversation tonight. The powerful way to master the art of being strong emotionally and yet soft and tender as a woman. Now, what does it mean? The conversation for tonight is building emotional capacity in a tough world, strong and yet soft. First, being emotionally strong does not mean being hard, that you are emotionally strong, because when we hear strong, we can mistake it for being hard or hardened. So what it means is simply being whole. You know, like I told us, that God needs emotionally whole people. God cannot use us except we are whole, emotionally whole. So being emotionally strong, you can also term it being whole. So you are whole in yourself. Every facet of your being is together. None is lacking. So the world we live in will often demand toughness to survive, right? We need to be tough to survive. We need to lead. For us to live, we need to be tough. For us to protect ourselves, we need to be tough. But in the process of being tough and, strong, many of us become numb. We become emotionally numb. Some of us become too guarded and even overly hardened. So there's a thin line between being emotionally tough and becoming hardened, numb, or even overly guarded, too protective of yourself. And that's something we need to pay attention to, because some people have crossed that line and they have become very extreme. So each of the extreme is not okay. We need to find a way to stay in the middle. We are soft, we are tough, we are strong, but we are not hardened. We are not emotionally numb to the fact that you don't feel emotions anymore. So in a bit to try to be strong, you became numb. And that's the extreme. So this conversation is practically inviting us to become strong enough to remain soft. We need to become strong enough to remain soft. That means we need to build emotional capacity without losing our sense of compassion, our sense of vulnerability, and our sense of grace. We need to be emotionally strong. That means emotional capacity. Oh my God. You can't see or hear me, but I can see myself. So how do we do this now? Can anyone see me and hear me? Mama says she can't see me and hear me. I can't see comments. So let me just respond to her while I try to um find out what the issue is. Okay, they say they can hear but not see me. So what do we do? do we do? What do we do? Okay. Okay. So since I can be heard, all right, ma. All right. All right. Okay. So let's continue. Um, some of us chatted me to say that on WhatsApp that they can hear me, but they cannot see me, and I don't know why. But at least it is the voice that is important. Let's just proceed with the conversation. Okay. So I was saying that we need to emotional capacity. Building emotional capacity is just about helping us to build strength without losing compassion, without losing vulnerability and our grace. It is very important. And you know, you can tie this up and say this is us not losing our femininity. We need to be strong yet soft. So that our feminine side is our very essence, and that's our superpower. We cannot lose it.